Hello, friends. Welcome to another session with your educator and mentor on my YouTube channel, MT Zama's Polity and Governance. So, it is in continuation of the previous session. The session was on a speaker, and in this session, we are going to discuss the position of the deputy speaker. Fine. So, guys, before we formally take up the discussion, do you recognize this figure? Yes, he is M.A. Iyengar. He was the first deputy speaker of Lok Sabha. He was elected in 1952, okay, first Lok Sabha, right? When G.V. Mavalankar was elected as the first speaker of Lok Sabha. So G.V. Mavalankar was the first speaker and M.A. Iyengar was the first deputy speaker of Lok Sabha, right? Now, do you know that there was no deputy speaker in the last 17th Lok Sabha? That's last Lok Sabha was 17th Lok Sabha. This Lok Sabha, the present one, is 18th Lok Sabha. So in the 17th Lok Sabha, there was no deputy speaker. And the position of deputy speaker remained vacant throughout the 5-year term of the Lok Sabha. And it was unprecedented. It never happened before, right? In every Lok Sabha, we had deputy speaker, right? And in the present Lok Sabha, that is 18th Lok Sabha, while we have already elected Om Birla as the new speaker, the political class is yet to, decide on the position of deputy speaker, right? Why is there so much buzz around the post of deputy speaker this time around? Do you understand that? There's a lot of talk about deputy speaker. Who is going to be deputy speaker? Right? Whether it is from the ruling side or from the opposition side. Whether the ruling NDA led by Narendra Modi is going to concede this post to a member from the opposition. So there's a lot of, buzz around it. We, the political commentators, analysts, we are keeping our fingers crossed. Okay, so in this video, we are going to discuss what does the constitution say about the post of deputy speaker, right? In the last session, we discussed many things about the position of the speaker. So here the focus is on the post of deputy speaker. Why is there so much buzz around the post of deputy speaker this time around, right? So let's understand that. So who was the first deputy speaker of Lok Sabha? Who was the first speaker? We saw M.A. Iyengar. Now, as of now, who is the last deputy speaker of the Lok Sabha? That is M. Thambi Durai. He was deputy speaker in the 16th Lok Sabha when, Sumitra Mahajan was the speaker. Sumitra Mahajan from BJP, she was the speaker, while M. Thambi Durai was the deputy speaker in the 16th Lok Sabha, right? In the 17th Lok Sabha, there was no deputy speaker. M. Thambi Durai, belonging to AIA-DMK, was the last deputy speaker. It was for the first time that the post of deputy speaker remained vacant throughout the 17th Lok Sabha. Even this time, the intentions of the government are not yet very clear with respect to filling this important position, right? So before we discuss about the position of the deputy speaker, we must refer to the exact provision of the constitution pertaining to the office of this deputy speaker. Now, Article 93, once again, earlier also we had referred to Article 93 with respect to the office of the speaker. Now again, because the same article provides for the post of deputy speaker. It says the title of the article is the speaker and deputy speaker, okay, of the Lok Sabha. House of the people is Lok Sabha, okay, Lok Sabha. The House of the people shall, again, is very important. As soon as may be, okay, so without any inordinate or inexplainable or inexplicable delay, choose 2 members of the House to be respectively Speaker and Deputy Speaker. Clear? Thereof. And so often as the office of the Speaker or Deputy Speaker becomes vacant, तो जब भी vacancy हो तब as soon as may be House elect कर लेगी, choose कर लेगी Speaker or Deputy Speaker. So this is what the provision of Article 93 says. So it clearly mentions that the House shall, and then it also mentions the phrase as soon as may be. But if you can recollect the status of 17th Lok Sabha, the House never took the initiative to fill the vacancy. Okay? So the Deputy Speaker's position remained vacant throughout the 5-year term of the Lok Sabha. Don't you think this was contrary to the spirit of the Constitution? So you decide. Then Article 95. So we were referring to Article 93, now Article 95. What it says? It says power of the Deputy Speaker or other person to perform the duties of the office or to act as a Speaker. Now, whenever the Deputy Speaker acts as the Speaker or the presiding officer of the House, right? Or even not only Deputy Speaker, but any other person who acts as the Speaker for a moment, for the time being. So what will be the power of such person, such functionary, that is Deputy Speaker or any other member of Parliament, member of Lok Sabha who acts as the Speaker for the time? Okay. So there are two clauses in this article. Clause 1 says, while the office of the Speaker is vacant, right, the duties of the office shall be performed by the Deputy Speaker. Okay, so the Constitution clearly says that when the office of the Speaker is vacant, and you can easily make out the vacancy may arise when the Speaker resigns from office, when the Speaker is removed from his office, when the Speaker dies in office, when the Speaker, no longer remains a Speaker because of his disqualification from the member of the House, right? So, in such case, vacancy will arise, and in that case, Deputy Speaker will perform the, discharge the responsibilities of the Speaker. Or if the office of the Deputy Speaker is also vacant, by such members of the House of the People, that is Lok Sabha, as the President may appoint for the purpose. Now, suppose in the absence of a Deputy Speaker, now, one day, the Om Birla chooses to resign from his post. He resigns from the position of Speaker. Now, in his absence because of the vacancy, who will preside over as the Speaker of the House? Now, it is the President's power to appoint another person as the Speaker for the time being, right? Until and unless a duly elected Speaker is elected once again. Okay, so the ball will be in the court of the President. It is the President's power. Okay, so this is very important because the kind of political situation we have today, right? So in case Om Birla resigns or he is removed maybe someday, then the next person to preside over the House for the temporary period will be decided by the President. And when it comes to President, it means President has to act in accordance with the advice of the Council of Ministers headed by the current Prime Minister. Okay. The second clause is during the absence of the Speaker. Now, not vacant, but absence. So if the Speaker is absent for a day, for a week, he goes out of station, he falls ill, or he takes leave for a few days, then in the absence of the Speaker, again, the Deputy Speaker will preside over. And if the Deputy Speaker is also absent, then it is not the President, but it will be in accordance with the rules of procedure of the House. Or if no such person is present, such other person as may be determined by the House. So it is not the President, but the House or House rules that will determine, in case of absence of Deputy Speaker as well as Speaker, who shall preside over the House as Speaker for the moment, right? So, clause 1 has far-reaching implications, right? So, the question arises, when does Deputy Speaker perform the duties of the Speaker? Two situations. Either the Speaker is vacant, the Speaker's office is vacant, or he is absent. Only in two situations Deputy Speaker shall preside over as the Speaker, right? Apparently, there does not seem to be any such difference or variation. What kind of difference or variation? The question is, does the power of the Speaker vary from that of the Speaker? So when the Deputy Speaker takes over as the Speaker for the time being, in the absence or when there is a vacancy in the office of the Speaker, will his power be the same as that of the Speaker, or will it be different, less or more or whatever, right? So that's the question. Apparently, there does not seem to be any such difference or variation. While provisions under Articles 93, we saw that 95, you can also refer to 96, and many other provisions do not make any such distinction between the two offices. There are some provisions where the post of the speaker finds prominence. For instance, now for example, which provisions of the Constitution gives the office of the Speaker more prominence vis-a-vis the office of the Deputy Speaker? Let's look at that. Now, the first provision you can refer to Article 94. Its second proviso. Proviso means second paragraph. Okay, proviso 94. In the Constitution, PM Bakshi, you can refer to Article 94 and look at the second proviso, second paragraph. It says, it mentions only the Speaker. It does not mention Deputy Speaker. And to continue in his post until immediately before the constitution of the next house. So if the speaker is removed from his post and in the meantime Lok Sabha is dissolved, then not the deputy speaker, but it is the speaker who will continue until immediately before the next sitting of the next house, next newly constituted Lok Sabha. It is not the deputy speaker. Okay, so this makes his position special. Second, if you look at Article 118, Clause 4, there are different clauses there. So you have to refer to the specific Clause 4 of 118 that does not mention Deputy Speaker to be a substitute for a Speaker in case of joint sitting of the two houses. Suppose the President of India summons the sittings of the two houses, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, to consider a bill, in a joint sitting. Okay, and suppose the Speaker's post is vacant, or the deputy speaker, the speaker is absent. It is not the deputy speaker who can fill in the position for the time being in that instance, because it only mentions speaker. Again, para 6 of Schedule 10, that is anti-defection law, anti-defection provision of 10th, that provisions relating to anti-defection also does not mention deputy speaker as a substitute for the speaker for taking decisions on matters pertaining to disqualification of members of parliament on grounds of anti-defection provisions, right? So it is the speaker who can take decisions on matters relating to, petitions that may have challenged the membership of, members of parliament. Deputy speaker cannot fill the gap. Okay, so these provisions make the speaker's position very prominent. The deputy speaker cannot completely fill the vacuum. Okay, he can only temporarily discharge his responsibilities with respect to conducting the businesses of the house, routine businesses of the house. But all these important matters have to be decided or presided over by the speaker. Now the question arises, why did the post of speaker remained vacant during the entire term of 17th Lok Sabha? We have already discussed this, but again, as is well known, the election for the post of speaker is often avoided. Attempts are made to build a consensus on a name, suggested by the ruling side. And the opposition agrees to such a name, because for the post of deputy speaker, the ruling side is supposed to concede. Okay, so there is some sort of quid pro quo between the ruling and the opposition, right? For this, a very healthy convention has been established. So in order to avoid the election of the speaker, a very healthy convention has been established that while the post of the speaker will go to the person nominated or put forth by the ruling side, the post of the deputy speaker will go to a name nominated or put forth by the opposition side. Okay, so this convention, if followed, then the election for the post of speaker or deputy speaker could be squarely, clearly avoided, right? However, in the 17th Lok Sabha, while the opposition agreed on Om Birla from the ruling side, but then the government did not concede and did not follow the established tradition or convention. And so that, and in order to avoid that kind of situation, the government did not take any initiative to fill the post of the deputy speaker. Probably the government did not want the deputy speaker to be from the opposition side. Okay. So in order not to violate the convention, okay, the government did not take initiative to fill the post of the deputy speaker. So we can only speculate, we can only make a guess. There is no express explanation that might have come from the government or from the Lok Sabha, right? So you can go through it. Why is there so much buzz around the position of this deputy speaker this time round? It is because the political equation has changed. The result of the general elections for the 18th Lok Sabha, that has changed the existing political equation between the ruling alliance, that is NDA, and the opposition India alliance. Okay, and this changed political equation has made the opposition more aggressive, more straightforward, more demanding, while the government seems to be on the defensive, right? This time the government may not be able to avoid filling the post of deputy speaker for long. It cannot avoid for long, right? The opposition will consistently and persistently put pressure on the government to fill the deputy speaker's position. Now only time will tell whether the government will really respect this well established convention of the convention that we just referred to, that while the speaker shall be from the ruling side, the deputy speaker will be from the opposition side. So only time will tell. So we have to just wait, keeping our fingers crossed. So that's all about deputy speaker. I hope you must have understood not only the rationale behind creating the post of deputy speaker, but you must have understood the political dynamics that is there before all of us. Why the 17th Lok Sabha did not have a deputy speaker for its full term, and now why the government is showing a flip flop attitude in filling the post or taking the initiative towards filling the post of deputy speaker. Okay, so guys, before we wind up, try this. Who was the first deputy speaker of Lok Sabha? I'm sure you must remember this. So you have to answer, right? So thank you guys. Take care of yourself.